Hello, my name is Ralf Friedrichs. I am an addiction recovery coach and the host of the Take Your Life Back Today show. As an addiction recovery coach, I want to share this about substance abuse, and I want to be crystal clear and leave an everlasting impact upon you. Imagine just being buried alive. You're in the coffin, but you know you're not dead. You don't know how to open the coffin and push the enormous weight of the dirt above the lid. But you also think about banging on the coffin's lid, so maybe, just maybe, you can unsettle the earth on the lid, and maybe somebody will notice and start digging their way down to help you. This is what it's like to find yourself at the lowest point of alcohol and or drug addiction. You know you need help, you don't know where to get it, but you also don't know how to do it on your own. In reality, there are people who can help you standing nearby your grave, but you just don't realize that. You just think you're going to die. Usually, though, people don't think about death when they're habitually abusing drugs and alcohol. In order to feed an addiction, you have to be good at repressing the fear of death. I often ask you, my audience, did it ever dawn on you by abusing drugs and alcohol that maybe, just maybe, you might overdose? With this, I leave it with one other thought. Don't be that person laying in the coffin, alive, banging on the lid, hoping that somebody might hear you to help you. Be the person instead that takes first actions and reaches out to people like myself, an addiction recovery coach at 844-405-HELP, and let me help you take your life back before your life is gone. There are other people, other addiction recovery coaches, other life coaches that can help you. People like Larry Geis from the Geis Academy at 516-458-2741. That's 516-458-2741. Larry Geis at the Geis Academy. He's a life coach, an addiction recovery coach with over 30 years experience. He will help you from your addiction to your recovery, hand in hand. What you do need to do is you need to reach out to him. You can also Google him at www.odysseyconsultant.org. That's www.odysseyconsultant.org. Larry Geis from the Geis Academy. Let him help you take your life back. GlobalEyeglasses.com. They are focused on saving you money. Folks, if you need new glasses, go get them. Without even leaving your house, all you need to do is go on your internet, type in www.globaleyeglasses.com. Over 1,200 frames to choose from. Choose a frame. Choose your lenses. Put your prescription in. Choose your lenses, whether it's progressive, single vision, thin lenses, photochromatic, transitions, all available at globaleyeglasses.com. Here's the great thing. If you need help, all you have to do is text me at 631-599-0218. I have over 30 years experience in the optical field. I can help you place the order like I've done for so many of you. I can help choose the right lenses, and then the glasses will be sent to you, and when you get them, all you have to do is open up the mailbox, open the box, put them on, and you can focus on my videos and let Global Eyeglasses focus on saving you money. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving, folks. So with that said, well, in some cases you'll see this video. I'll say today's Thanksgiving. We all know how we celebrate and are thankful here in this country celebrating Thanksgiving. There are many different celebrations throughout the world for Thanksgiving. I want to discuss 6 Thanksgiving celebrations around the world. Thanksgiving, celebrated on the 4th Thursday of November, originated in the fall of 1621 when the Pilgrims celebrated their first successful wheat crop. The holiday has since evolved into a day which bickering families and drunken friends gather to consume massive amounts of turkey, mashed potatoes, and pumpkin pies before lounging for hours in front of the TV or battling strangers during midnight Black Friday sales. But while all the revelry seems uniquely American, we are not the only culture to celebrate a bountiful harvest. Here a look at other agricultural-based festivals around the world. Canadian Thanksgiving. Our neighbors to the north actually celebrated Thanksgiving before Pilgrims even landed in Plymouth, Mass. When explorer Martin Frobisher arrived in Newfoundland, Canada in 1578, he celebrated with a small feast to give thanks for the safe arrival to the New World, an event that is now commemorated by contemporary Canadians on the second Monday of October. The earlier date is due to the fact that Canada's Thanksgiving is more aligned with European harvest festivals, which traditionally occur in October. In addition, Canada is further north, which means its harvest season ends earlier than America's. But besides The date. The celebrations are largely the same, with families gathering around a table, piled high with turkey, stuffing, and pies. Number 2 is China's Mid-Autumn Moon Festival. Like American Thanksgiving, China's Mid-Autumn Moon Festival is a time for family and loved ones to celebrate the end of the harvest season with giant feast. It is one of the most celebrated Chinese holidays and is held on the 15th day of the 8th lunar month around September-October on the Gregorian calendar. According to legend, the moon is at its brightest and roundest on this day and may inspire rekindled friendship and or romance. The festival's traditional food is moon cake, a flaky pastry stuffed with either sweet or savory filling. Number 3 on my list is Korea's Chuseok. This day of thanks in late September and early October is one of the Korea's 3 major holidays. It's a time for families to share food and stories and pay respect to their ancestors. Along with sprawling feasts made from fresh harvest and main traditional dish of spongeon, glutinous rice kneaded into little cakes and filled with red beans, chestnuts, or other ingredients. The feast is laid out in honor of deceased, and the family is allowed to dig into the tasty bounty only after a memorial service and usually a trip to the graveyard. But the 3-day celebration isn't just about food and death. Other organized activities, including dancing, wrestling, dressing traditional costumes, and celebrating, is done at this Korea Chuseok. Number 4 on my list is Liberian Thanksgiving. A Liberian Thanksgiving takes the inspiration directly from American version, which isn't surprising given Liberia was founded in the 19th century by freed slaves from the U.S. They brought them with many of customs they learned in the New World, including Thanksgiving. Though they eat mashed cassavas instead of mashed potatoes, to jazz up their poultry with a little spice. The Liberian Thanksgiving is celebrated on the first Thursday instead of the 4th in November. Number 5 is Guyana's Homowo Festival. This yam harvest celebration in Accra, a coastal region of Guyana, is meant to commemorate a period of famine in the Ga people's history. The word Homowo means hooted at hunger, which is what the ancestors did in the face of famine before getting to work cultivating the land for food. Today, the festival happens around the harvest time between May and August. During the harvest, women dig up the yams, the country's staple crops, saving the best for the festival dinner. The yams and food are blessed by local chiefs, and the celebration ends with a giant feast that is often complemented by dancing, singing, and drum playing. Last but not least is the Jewish Feast of Tabernacles. Sukkot is the third of the Jewish pilgrimage festival, following the Passover and Shavuot. All 3 mark stages of the harvest, with Sukkot signifying its end. It's traditionally celebrated outside the home in makeshift huts, a symbolic reminder of the temporary dwellings Israelites inhabited during the journey across the desert. Folks, these are the 6 Thanksgiving celebrations of many around the world. Thanksgiving is celebrated on the 4th Thursday of November, originating in the fall of 1621, when pilgrims celebrated their first successful wheat crop. The holiday has since evolved into a day with bickering families, drunken friends gather to consume massive amount of turkey, mashed potatoes, and pumpkin pie before lounging for hours in front of the TV and battling strangers during midnight Black Friday sales. But while all of that revelry seems uniquely American, we are not the only culture to celebrate a bountiful harvest. Here, a look at other agriculturally based festivals around the world. Number 1 was the Canadian Thanksgiving. They are north of us. They actually they discovered Thanksgiving even way before we did in 1578 when Martin Frobisher arrived in Newfoundland. The Canadians, they celebrate pretty much the same way we do, with family gatherings around a table, some sharing of stories, some turkey, pie, and stuffing. Number 2 was China's Mid-Autumn Moon Festival. Like American Thanksgiving, China's Mid-Autumn Moon Festival is a time for family and loved ones to celebrate the end of the harvest season with a humongous giant feast. It is one of the most celebrated Chinese holidays and is held on the 15th day of the 8th lunar month around September-October on the Gregorian calendar. What legend has it, the moon is at its brightest and roundest on that particular day, and it may inspire rekindled friendship and romance. Number 3 is Korea's Choseok. This day of thanks is in late September, early October for one of Korea's 3 major holidays. It's time for families to share food, stories, pay respect to their ancestors. None of the celebrating in Korea happens until they make a trip to the graveyard. Number 4 is the Liberian Thanksgiving. The Liberian Thanksgiving takes an inspiration directly from the American version, which is not surprising because the freed slaves from the U.S. actually migrated to Liberia, and hence that particular Thanksgiving. The Liberian Thanksgiving is celebrated on the first, not the last Thursday of November. Number 5, Guyana's Homowo Festival, the yam harvest celebration in Accra, a coastal region of Guyana, is meant to commemorate a period of famine in the Ga people's history. The word Homowo means hooted at hunger, which is what the ancestors did in the face of famine before getting to work cultivating the land for food. Last but not least is the Jewish Feast of Tabernacle. Sukkot is the third of the Jewish pilgrims' festivals following Passover and Shavuot. All 3 mark different stages of harvest, the Sukkot signifying its end. It is traditionally celebrated outside the home, makeshift huts, symbolic reminder of the temporary dwellings Israelites inhabited during the journey across the desert. Folks, no matter what country you are, whether it's here, Guyana, Korea, or China, or Israel, Thanksgiving is exactly what the word stands for. It's not how we celebrate, it's the fact that we are giving thanks, whether it's to your family, whether it's to your God, whether it's to both. It's to give thanks for all the good you have. It's to look at what you have that's good and not dwell on what you don't have. I always say a glass that's half full is better than a glass that's half empty. It is a more positive statement. A half a loaf of bread is better than no loaf of bread. I always try to look in the positive, and I beg and urge you to do the same. When you look at your friends and you look at your family and your neighbors, look for the good in them, not the negative in them. When you look in the mirror, look what's good in you, not what's bad in you. Remember, God thinks you're awesome. I think you're awesome. And I hope to God that you have the best Thanksgiving in the world, that you really do give thanks to the important things in life, and even the unimportant things in life to give thanks to. Things like electric, things that we take for granted, things like shoes, things like a car, things like a roof. These are all things that many people in this big world would certainly appreciate, that we sometimes forget to appreciate. So this is a time to give thanks to everything. I hope to God, no matter where you are, you have the best day of your life. I hope and I pray that you always have a sober day in your life, a sober rest of your life, and I hope and pray that you have the best Thanksgiving. And please join hand in hand with whoever you're sitting at around the table this year and look for the positive. Not just in them, look in the positive for you, but look in the positive for the world. We all need to unite as children of God, and may you all have a great Thanksgiving, and God bless you.